What's goody? Hey man, ignore the hair. I'm about to get a haircut in a few days. Ignore the hair. I haven't had to do rag on all day. But breaking news, bro. The trade deadline this year just got even crazier. This is looking like it's going to be one of the most, if not the most historic trade deadline, if not of all time, then at least in recent memory, bro. The Spurs are getting De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin. The Kings are getting Zach LaVine, CD Sissoko. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Three first round picks that are 2025 from the Bulls, a 2027 from the Spurs, worthless, and a 2031 from Minnesota, could be good. Three second round picks, 2025 from Chicago, 2028 from Denver, and 2028, which is their own. And then the Bulls are getting Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and their own 2025 pick. So, here's what I'll say. If I'm the Spurs, I am extremely happy with this. You were able to get De'Aaron Fox, and you didn't have to give up anyone that you were really invested in. You didn't have to give up a Stephon Castle. You didn't have to give up a Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson's still a guy you could end up trading later, but you didn't have to. You didn't have to give him up here, so you could still use that asset in the future if it doesn't pan out. You didn't have to give up a Jeremy Sohan, which I didn't figure you would give up anyway, but you didn't have to give up a Devin Vassell, which is huge. Now, for the Spurs, I love this trade. You're giving up picks. I don't know who's giving up what picks, whatever, blah, blah, blah. How many of those are actually from the Spurs? I'm assuming two or three of them are. Two, if not two, then all three of them are. Um, Man, this is a crazy trade. So if you're the Kings, this is interesting because now who runs the point guard position? Do you bring Malik Monk into run point guard? Because Zach LaVine, while he's a great player, he's not a point guard. Do you let Keon Ellis run the one? You could do that. I mean, I guess you could have Keon Ellis, Zach LaVine, and then DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, and Domantas Sabonis. Here's my thing with this trade. I don't think the Kings got better here. I don't think they got like crazy, crazy worse, but I don't think they got better. I think the biggest question is really just who's going to run that playmaking role, who's going to give them that speed and transition. Now, Zach LaVine's obviously a speed and transition guy, but I'm just talking about like pushing the break while also being decisive with the playmaking and stuff. Now, pure scoring, Zach LaVine's great. Zach LaVine's not a very good defender. He's a worse defender than De'Aaron Fox, so like that's another thing that this is already a team that's not great at defense. Now they added another guy who's more of a pure scorer, not a good defender, so that sucks. And they're also trading a guy that was a fan favorite here. I'm a Zach LaVine fan. I firmly believe that Zach LaVine will probably be a fan favorite anywhere he goes. But I don't hate this trade for the Kings, but I don't love it either. In fact, I'm not like the biggest fan of it. But the reason that I am gonna give it a decent grade for the Kings isn't because of Zach LaVine, it's because of the three first round picks. Now, if all three of those picks are unprotected, those picks might not even be worth it. But 2025 Charlotte in and of itself, if it is unprotected, is an extremely good pick. Like I said, that 2027 San Antonio more than likely is not going to be worth anything. And the 2021 Minnesota could very well be worth something depending on what that ant situation is looking like and everything like that. If you're the Bulls, at least you got a 2025 first round pick, which is your own, which incentivizes you to tank even more. The problem is you're at the point of the season now where you were so decent enough that you tanking still might not even get you good enough odds at Cooper Flag for this trade to be worth it. And the way that I'm looking at this is you got off of Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Alex Caruso, and you got back one first round pick that was your own for all of them combined. That's the way I look at this if I'm a Bulls fan. No, like that's I think the way that this has to be broken down. Now you still have the Vucevic piece that you could use. Maybe someone wants Patrick Williams. I doubt it. This is just some water. Hold on. But yeah, if I'm the Bulls, I don't love this trade. If I'm the Kings, like I said, it's not a terrible trade for the Kings or anything like that. I think the biggest questions here are like, where's the playmaking going to come from? What's the point guard position going to look like? Because DeMar DeRozan can play make some, but it's just more like what is the point guard position going to look like? Who's going to take up that role? And also, what's the defense going to be like now? Is it going to be even worse than it already was? But, like, I want to also know what are the protections on those picks. That's going to also change the way that I grade this trade. But for the Spurs, man, you got a really good piece, a guy that's not young, but young enough. What is De'Aaron Fox, 27, 28 at the oldest? Pretty young guy, a guy that's going to be another great point guard with Wemby, a guy that's going to probably help guide Wemby, help make Wemby an even better player than he already was, because not only does De'Aaron Fox have the opportunity to learn from CP3 here, which could be huge for his career, De'Aaron Fox can also do things that this older version of CP3 can't do in terms of just like fast break transition type stuff that we could see some Showtime Spurs type stuff that's making the Spurs what must-see basketball. Bro, the West just got even better, and I'm going to tell you right now, this Spurs team is more than likely not just a play-in team, but a playoff team, and I'm here for that. There are so much is going down in the Western Conference right now that like when Luka gets healthy, if him and Braun do end up playing together, which I'm going to drop a video about that again tomorrow, but if him and Braun do end up playing together, that's going to be must see basketball. Even if it's not, even if it's just Luka playing, that's going to be much see basketball. Just to see him in a Laker uniform is going to be so crazy. In the West, it's going to be interesting to see Zach LaVine with the Kings, but it's going to be so much more interesting to see De'Aaron Fox with the Spurs, bro. Like the West is so crazy right now. I just don't know how the Spurs got away with this. This is literally just a steal to me if I'm the Spurs because it's like, sure, you're giving up some first round picks, but you don't have to give up any player you like. Now, another question, if the one question I do have, I guess, if I'm the Spurs, while this is obviously a major talent upgrade from what you have at point guard right now, what does that rotation look like with the guards? Because it's like you have CP3, you have Stephon Castle, who I'm assuming you were trying to basically build up and engineer into being a one. So now what do you do with that? You don't really want to run CP3 at the two with De'Aaron Fox because that's just kind of, you know what I'm saying. I just don't think that's the way that you would want to do things. So I'm just interested to see what's going on over there. I'm also interested to see like. Man, I feel like this is going to be so exciting to watch. If I'm a Spurs fan, I'm ecstatic right now. Not only is Victor Wembanyama doing phenomenal things, pretty much has the DPOY award locked up already as a second-year player, which is crazy, and has had it locked up for basically months at this point. Not only is he doing great, now your organization's in a place where it's like, okay, we're in the play-in. We're assuming the Lakers are going to fall out of a playoff spot extremely quickly. But there are other teams like the Clippers. They just got Kawhi back. They're probably going to rise up. But it's like, what's going to happen with the Suns? Could they go down? Is Jimmy Butler going to go to a Western Conference team? They're like, we need to make a splash. We have our opportunity now with teams like the Warriors who are struggling and haven't made a move yet. Teams like the Lakers that are going to fall. Teams like the Mavs that could go up, could go down. You don't know what that's going to happen, and especially with the health, where they just got blasted by the Cavs tonight. Man, the Spurs just took their shot to make a major run at the play-in, and I don't know when De'Aaron Fox is going to suit up for the Spurs first, but trust me, I'm going to be watching that game. Um, wow, man. I mean, we knew that this was something that De'Aaron Fox wanted. It's just I didn't expect it to happen so quickly. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow. And if you're the Spurs, this is also really good because sure, while you did give up those first round picks, you not losing any players means that even if De'Aaron Fox doesn't resign, which 99% chance he will because he said he wanted to sign there in 2026 anyway, well, let's just say he doesn't resign, you still have those young players that gained a year and a half learning from him. So for San Antonio, basically, no matter what happens here, barring like a major injury, which please God don't let that happen, San Antonio comes out great. So yeah, man, let me know what y'all think about this, man. Hit me up on Twitter in the comments, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. I love you.